Good morning, everyone. How are y'all today? Who we got here? Martin, Havoc, Kegel, Mike, Pyro. Morning, y'all. No, Havoc, you didn't miss the start. You got your popcorn ready, Mike? Excellent. Excellent. It is a little warm. I'm going to open this window real quick. A little bit of a breeze coming in. All right, so this morning we have a box full of parts. And we're going to build something with these parts. This is going to be the Goblin. Oh, I forgot something. Let's do this real quick. I don't know if it will support this image format or not, but we will see. Nope. Fortunately, it does not support that image format. This build is actually sponsored by bearswears.com, I do believe. Link is in the description. They are a shop that provides all your 3D printing Nerf blaster needs, or a good deal of them. Just an all-around good dude. So we're going to get all these parts out of here first and foremost. This is the Goblin by Shoeless Historian, I think it is. What is the... Let me double check because I want to make sure I get this right. Collections, blaster stuff. Yes, Shoeless Historian. The FLP-07 Goblin, Silly Shell, Single Shot Foam Blaster. That is quite the description. Like the shirt? Thank you. I found it at Kohl's on sale for $8. Paid $8 for it. I've got a crap ton of shirts. Didn't really need another one, but couldn't say no to the Back to the Future shirt. Huge part of my childhood. Directions for this are on Imager, unfortunately. The blaster community needs to come together and learn that GitHub exists. Martin, we need to really push people to put their stuff up on GitHub rather than sites that just kind of randomly purge your shit. Or a website that you may or may not continue to pay hosting on for, you know, another year or whatever. If you're publishing stuff that's open source to the community, put it up on GitHub. All right. that little rant out of the way, looks like we start, if you look up the Goblin on printables and you go in there, there's a link for the build directions for an imager library. If you want to follow along that way, I'm not going to put that up on screen. But yeah, simple print. Let's see. We're going to start with what did I just do? No, stop it. M3 by 25 screw. Happens to be one in here. Pay attention to what we're doing over here, screen. I've got some extra little doodads in here. So I ordered a bunch of springs to make magazines with. All right. Don't know what the bungee's for. We'll figure it out. I printed this in Polymaker Metallic, Blue ABS, Ambrosia Matte Black ABS, and Polymaker Neon Orange ABS. If you're wondering what the colors are. It's a top-down view, appropriately zoomed in. Got some feedback that maybe stuff wasn't exactly zoomed in optimally. We're just going to screw this in. Drop our trigger down in there. I did not know that. Mike? Chicken McGriddle, huh? You have strange taste in McDonald's breakfast sandwiches, sir. All right. We have a trigger. It does triggery things. So it looks like we're adding some hex nuts and a spring. Let's get some M3 hex nuts. If you buy this kit, and this is a really reasonably priced kit, by the way. If you were to buy this kit, it would come with all the hardware. Part of the agreement that we had was some of the stuff I had. And as such, he did not send that. All right. I just dropped that stupid spring. There it goes. We're gonna need another M3 by 25. Man, this camera is being really stupid. Listen, I need you to just sit right here. Come over here. Come here. Where's... Let's just stop AI tracking. And I want you to move this way just a little bit. What are you doing? You're not going to work. Okay. Fair enough. Whatever. You just got to eat some trash. Oh, good Lord. All right, before we put that spring in, we're going to go ahead and get this started. Okay. Let's go get it in there. It's going to give me blisters on my fingers. This is tight. All right, there we go. All right, I think this this situation's not working right. I think we're gonna need a different spring for this. This might not have been the actual right spring. It might just have been a bag of extra parts, because some of this stuff in this bag doesn't necessarily go with this blaster. So there's a fair chance that that's what we got going on here. No, what we have going on there is I screwed that in through the wrong freaking hole. So that's gonna shuck for a minute. We're gonna need to print a new one of these out, because that ain't ever gonna work. But I think our issue is that this spring is not the right spring for this job. Let me see something here. That's why it was so freaking hard to screw in. Mike, why didn't you say something? Could have told me. I'm like, hey, idiot. Yeah, I think we need a shorter screw. Shorter whatchamacallit. Let's go over here, though. Get some material. Get that print started. V0. There's blasters. Goblin. And then we need sear and strength. We're gonna go 6 walls, 100% infill. Wait, let's go over here. Transfer. 6 walls, 100% infill. JPP, how's it going, man? While that does its thing, we're going to come over here. Martin had me order an assortment of springs the other day. Martin, thank you for being such a terrible influence. Because now we have some springs. All right. I feel like this spring's probably going to be enough. Like I said, if you order the full kit, yours is going to come with everything. Yeah, that spring's going to work just perfect. Blaster fell. VHB tape failed. So we have a blaster down. I really thought VHB tape on these great big huge things would be enough. And some of them it's working fine. Other ones it's not. I'm running out of flat vertical surfaces in this garage. While we wait for that to do a thing, let me get a drink. Yeah, VHB tape is a very hit or miss kind of thing. All right, so we got springs. I'm gonna put this spring in with our miscellaneous assortment of springs. No, that seems like a bad idea because this is probably actually for a blaster type thing somewhere. So is this ball detent. Martin, does a ball detent get used on this thing anywhere? Or did he just send me like a little baggie of some random extra stuff? Captain, morning, how's it going? Feel like he just sent me a baggie of random extra stuff. These 30s definitely don't go anywhere either. This isn't a 30 either. This is like a 40. M3 by 40. Yeah, they're M3 by 40s. So let's see if we can skip ahead here and see if we can do anything else productive. All right, so we need this thing. It's got a little built-in support in here we got to get out. All right. You don't remember using a ball D10 either? All right. And then this spring floats down in here. And then this gets put on there like so. And what kind of screw do we use here? M3 by 10. We put that in, lock the spring into a little slot on the arm, spin it around, put some tension on it, and then screw it in. So let's tighten it all the way down, then back it off a turn or two. That's working pretty smooth, so we're going to leave it right there. I don't want that to slide out. I didn't print the nameplate. I got to go back and print the nameplate. That's definitely something I can do later. Add the hex nut to the cavity of the plunger. Let's add a hex nut in here. We're going to put the plunger through the rear main body. And our plunger tube is going to go in there. And some 30s. I'm going to get my electric driver out here because I can't keep spinning all this stuff in the plastic. All right. Oh, wait. I need the spring first. So our spring's going on there. Now we'll get this. Good, good. Then we need an O-ring. These all look like they're the same size. Then we're going to slide that and this together. Oh, wait. This part has got to have a plunger tube. Martin, is there just one O-ring that goes onto this thing? Yeah. That doesn't seem right, bud. Does that seem right to you? That there's only one O-ring on here? I mean, that's all that's in the picture. Yeah? All right. I got a silicone O-ring lubricant. Vince, how's it going? This stuff seems extremely liquidy. What do you think, Martin? You've built more of these than I have. Would you use something of a thicker viscosity on this O-ring, like a grease, or would you use this silicone O-ring lubricant? All right. So let's put some nuts in here. So we're going to put some oil on this. And this goes like so. Top rail secured with 4 M3x6s. All right. Let's slide this forward a little bit. Put those 2 M3 nuts in there, because once you slide it back, this tube's going to hold those in place. There we go. Our sear is starting to print. All right. Then we need this thing. So this gets 2 rings. One like this, and then one that kind of just weaves around like so. Kind of hold everything in place. What part's a pain in the ass? Am I getting to a pain in the ass part? Oh, now we push this O-ring into here. Well, it says to lubricate this with a thick grease. So we're gonna get this all lubed up. With my favorite grease of choice. Scroll past 1,000,001 ads. What is going on here? This is all ads, all ads, all ads, all ads. Excuse me. Load 9 more. There we go. Then this is going to go into the front. All right, now we need M3 by 25s. Oh, this is going to be fun. You got to try to get this to line up with a bunch of nuts that you can't access. Shit, was there supposed to be another screw in the top of this? Shoeless Historian, welcome to the stream. Shoeless Historian is the one who designed this, as we talked about at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, this is kind of my first foray. I've built a bunch of reshells, but this is my first foray into kind of the non-reshell type blasters. Seemed like a good place to start. All right. Yes, there is indeed a place in the top as well for a nut. Yeah, I guess I could just pull that back. Or something. I'm not sure. But I missed that step. Shoeless Historian, we were talking before you got here. The 3D printing blaster community should really start putting all their instructions up on GitHub. Number one, you don't have to pay for hosting on anything. Number two, it kind of ensures that the directions for these kind of things don't just disappear because Imager decided to purge stuff, somebody closed their account on Imager, or somebody stopped paying hosting for their little website that they had their instructions on. You don't have to pay money to upkeep it. It's kind of a very standardized thing in the 3D printer building community. But everything gets hosted for open source stuff up on GitHub. Might be something worth looking into. Oh, there's that one. There's that one. Now what I'm going to do here, I think it's just we'll try this by hand. There we go. I think I got it to catch. All right. I'm going to slide this rail off. So I can kind of hold this nut in place. And get this screw into it and then put this rail back on. Yeah, it's wanting to cant in there. Cant sideways. I don't know if that's the file that has that kind of twist built into it, or just my print settings or something, but oh. There we go. We got her now. We got her now. All right. Put these screws in the back of this first. Then let's get the screw. There's one. And there's two. All right. Yeah, I think the super glue probably work. I figured it's probably for a support issue. That's what I was saying. I wasn't sure if it was modeled that way or if I've been having some issues with some of my printers. All right. Now, let's go back over here to the sear that we reprinted. Actually, one second. Extrude. What is this thing doing? We have to come back here in a minute. Someone remind me and check on this. Make sure we didn't miss a layer or something in this print. All right. Now, where did we put this spring that we were using on that? Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Getting something to print without supports is a far better option. And just getting a little workaround for all right, I think we're in the hole now. That's the other nice thing too about GitHub is if you need to go back and call out something like, hey, you can do this little trick or something like that. That is an option. All right, let's make sure we got our nuts in here. two M3x12s. So we got our nuts back here. I'm just gonna slide this in. Okay. Meetings to set dates for other meetings. I'm fucking retarded. I am thoroughly convinced that most of the meetings that administrative teams have at any plant, anything, I'm sorry if this is you and it offends you, but if you take a good look at yourself, you probably realize that half of those meetings are absolutely only to serve the purpose of to justify your own existence within a company. Well, they need me. Who else is going to attend all these meetings? All right. Now, M3x8s through the grip into the mid body. Okay, so we need a bunch of M3x8s. M3x12. Ball and wrench, probably not the best way to go about putting these in. There we go. I do like the fact that this is designed around metric hardware. I have noticed that in the 3D printed blaster world, we have not yet settled on metric hardware. Some of these things are still designed for SAE hardware. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that some of this stuff is getting designed by some pretty young guys. And that's awesome, man. It's awesome to see some young folks doing this kind of stuff. But I think a lot of it was the fact that they were young and they didn't have experience outside of whatever, and they were going to their local hardware store that stocked SAE hardware, and that's what they had to build their blasters with. And then some of that stuff like you're saying, Shoeless Historian just kind of became a standard, and it's kind of hard to reverse that momentum a bit. But it would be nice to see everybody settle on one standard, and I'm a firm believer that that standard should be metric, especially on a global basis. You fixed the K1? Nice. What ended up being wrong with that one, Havoc? Now be careful, sir. You don't want to be like me, fix all your printers and then have one of them self-destruct just because, you know, can't have all of them working at once. The universe will not allow it. All right. So we got some M3s. Now, what do we got here? Tie a knot in elastic. Push through the ejector. Then push the elastic through the hole in the ejector track. Okay, that's what this is for. This is our ejector. I've got some sacrificial bridging in mind. All right, let's take a look at this. How bad is this? Looks like we may have gotten away with that. I believe it was a tool head board. Still need the cable, but that has proprietary connectors, so I have to order one. Yikes. All right, so all right, got our knot. Gonna snip this elastic off a little bit. Then we are going to feed this through a little hole down inside of here. Get some tweezers or something to help this out of here. I wonder if this would go better the other way. Would this work out better if I was pushing it through this way? Yep. Yes, it would. All right. There's that. Gonna put a little bit of this O-ring lubricant on here. Seems like as good a lubricant as I need to put in there, I guess. It is silicone based, so it's not gonna mess with our parts. Then we're gonna put that in there. Bring that back. Now here's a question. How much tension should I put, like pre-tension this elastic here? Obviously you don't want to pre-tension it all the way. Five Newton meters. Oh God. All right, we'll leave that there so that if needs be, I can whatever. All right, now the front of this, two M3x6s. Go back over here and get my 3x6s out. Tight but not yanked as far as it would go. All right. I kind of gave it my best guess and didn't cut it or melt it off yet. That way if I need to adjust it, I can. So we're just screwing this end on. And then one at the top. I'm going to use a button head for this so that I can still kind of see the sight. I wanted to still be able to see the top of this sight. All right, yeah, let me go grab a shell. Seems like it'll work. And it's got enough to push it back against that rubber, that O-ring. M3 by 25 and a hex nut. Push our hex nut down in there. Okay. There, loosen this up a little bit. So this will flippy floppy a little bit easier. I think we're ready to test fire it. Are we ready to test fire this thing? Feel like it. Did I forget anything? Screws are all in place. Yeah. All right. Let's go get a couple darts. I've got some full-size darts here. We'll start off with giving these a try. So here's the thing with these silly shells. So this shell here can hold 3 regular length darts or 6 half length darts. And you can print these to fit just about any different Nerf dart there is. And then this fits in there, goes like so. Maybe add a little bit of lube to the front of this. Should I put some lube on this? I don't want this O-ring to get ripped up or anything. Clearly, I mean, it's going to wear off. But then as soon as I double check this, we will find out. Cut this off. All right, so here we go. Over here, we've got our Nerf shooting range. Get our dueling tree in there. All right. Now, Looks like if I stand about there, yeah. All right, so should be able to see me. Pull that back, and impressive. And then just flip that open. If I wanted to have a little bit more tension, it would probably fling this shell across the room. But I'd rather pull that out and drop it in a dump pouch personally. Let's get some other stuff. Should we fire some other stuff? I've got some other darts. Let's see. Let's just bring the whole bin down. Probably make my life a little bit easier. All right. Oh yeah. No doubt that I could get that to fling the shell across the room if I wanted. But like I said, me personally, I'd rather not have these things fly all over the place. Me have to go find them get lost. I do take a fair amount of plastic to print. And then if I'm out playing a game while I can just reload them as I find some darts along the way or something, just throw them in a dump pouch. But we've got some other shells, so let's try 6 half darts. All right, so we can just take and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we got 6 half darts in here. Put that in. Close that up and oh, that's too fun. All right, then we've got got 2 regular darts and got some megas. It's the only pack of megas I've been able to find. But 2 regulars. Big old mega dart. Might be easier to do it this way though. Put the mega in there first, then put your 2 regular darts in there. Then you just drop that in there. Like so. Nice. And then we've got some shells for Mega XL. And these ones actually have rifling in them. So insert the Nerf dot. Then insert the big boy in there. And then you got real intimidation looking down the barrel of that thing. Pull that back and whoo, that hits hard. Yeah, if I turn it sideways, it definitely flings that right out of there. Let's do that again. That was too much fun. It'd be better if I held on to it. I hit the tree and then it did eject out sideways when I was back over there. There we go. Anyway, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll cut this little string off the bottom. We'll give it a quick hit with the torch. Yeah, the Mega XL is too much fun. I can't wait to get that Mammoth Greg built. That's a riot. I love it. Shoeless Historian, hey, thank you for designing it, giving it freely to the world. Folks like you make this hobby fantastic. Both the 3D printing side and my newfound addiction of Nerf blasters. It's great getting to use all my 3D printers to print stuff other than more 3D printers, because what's the point? At a certain point, what's the point? And this, I'm getting to use my printers. I'm getting to have some fun, getting to have a good time with my daughter. It's been great. And look at that, it's like the shortest stream ever. We're at an hour and a half. And so quick and easy build. If you're not talking to chat and you don't put your screw in through the thing at the wrong spot, and you're not digging around for hardware because you actually ordered the entire kit, check out Bear's Wares. Links in the description. Thank you, Bear, for sending over the stuff that I needed to get this built. Again, the agreement was it wasn't a full hardware kit. I had screws and such, so it was everything I needed minus prentice parts and screws. Bear's been great. We've got more Nerf blasters coming. So we've got the Crush, which shoots half-length darts. Big thing. If you've watched any Steve or Nero building Nerf blasters, you're kind of familiar with the form factor a bit. This is just a different design. And then we've got, what else do we got? We've got the 31K coming. That is a pistol that shoots harder than most of the rifles you've seen YouTubers build. I hear it's quite impressive. Later, Martin. And then we've got the Breacher by Selly Butts. Uses these things like a pump action shotgun. And then the Mammoth Greg's coming too, which shoots these big boys. It's a rifle taller than me. Yeah. So for comparison, this is the dart that you see everybody else build blasters that takes. This is the dart that that rifle takes. With apparently enough power to take out a White Claw. So that'll be fun. Anyway, thanks y'all. Links in the description for my Discord, where you can get updates and stuff, hang out, chat, get help with anything that I can help you with, or that anybody else can help you with, and then ways to support the channel down there as well. Come back, check it out. I think tomorrow we'll be building the Crush. I got to make sure that the last couple parts get done, but then tomorrow we'll be building a big boy rifle. That'll be fun. All right, later, y'all.